Does the Audi S4 make the best car coming up to the winter months with the balance of Quattro, the power it comes with, because of course it's a 3-litre turbo V6 with just under 350 brake horsepower and a 0 to 60 time in just 4.7 seconds. In this video we'll be taking a look whether that is true or not, because as you might have noticed, the weather recently has taken a turn for the worse and it's not going to get any better. So our example of the Audi S4 is a 2018 car. It's covered just under 32,000 miles, so it's very low miles for what it is. And I have to say this one's quite different to the rest you might see on the market, and I would call it quite an understated one at that. Now, as I mentioned already, the Audi S4, it's not typically an understated car. It's 350 brake horsepower. It sounds incredible and it looks incredible. But I think the reason I say this one looks slightly understated is the colour scheme on it. And it makes it a bit of almost a sleeper car. The theme with this car is obviously the white and silver, which is why it gives it a subtle, more luxury style. And then it's got touches like the upgraded alloy wheels, which again, they're a factory optional extra for the car. And I think it works well with the mirrors being chrome, as well as the window surrounds also. Now the S4 isn't the biggest estate, or Avant should I say, as Audi call it, car that Audi do. So it's quite a nice size for what it is. It doesn't feel like a big car when you're driving it. It's got things like front and rear park assist to assist in just manoeuvring it around town and whatnot. And it also makes a great just touring and driving car because it's got a lot of optional extras on the interior, which add to the comfort, and they even include things like massage seats, which you don't find all too often on an Audi. So behind the privacy glass, as I say, if you're looking for an S4, the chances are you want a little more space. So the car's a 5-seater, and the first option that you'll notice on the interior is the diamond stitch leather seats. And that comes as part of the Super Sport seat package. So that's more apparent in the front. As we move to the front, I'll highlight those in detail. But yeah, so that is one of the added comforts you get in this particular model. Now the benefit of the S4 Avant versus your regular S4 is of course the extra space you get with it. It retains all the power that the S4 normally has, the looks, the style, the aggression, but looking into the rear you'll see the space. Now the boot is again an actual option. To get an electric boot, that is an option. You can control that with the key and of course push of a button and it opens. And inside you'll see just a tremendous amount of space you get on the S4 Avant. The previous owner's gone to the effort of purchasing an extra boot liner protection just to retain the condition, and it is fantastic condition, the car. Underneath you'll see it's all unmarked, and again underneath the actual boot floor itself you've got a spare wheel, which again isn't all too common in Audi. Usually you get these little inflated kits which some people argue aren't all that useful, but that's not to worry on this one, because as I say, you've got the proper spare wheel. And closing the boot up, guys, is just as simple. You push that button there and it sweeps closed. Now the S4 from the rear, it's a little less understated, and that's because of the quad tailpipes you get with it. So again, they're in the chrome of course, followed by the chrome bumper. And just again, it's if you're following the car, you sort of start to realise what a powerful thing this is, and the sound that comes from it. Well, the V6 turbo sound is just tremendous. Now moving around to the front of the car, chances are if you are watching the video, you're hoping to be the driver of this car, and I don't blame you because it is lovely. So interior, you'll get the flat bottom S-line steering wheel. That is actually an upgrade to have that. But the big thing that I love on this car that it's got is the Super Sport seats. As well as being heated, they're also massage functionality, and you can also control them electronically, which again is actually not too common on an Audi, even on the higher end models that this one is. Electric seats aren't all too common. Thankfully this one does have it, and I think it makes it a much nicer place to be, and the added benefit of the massage technology is just brilliant. So the interior of an S4, of course, Audi's a very premium quality build. You've got touches of Alcantara to the door liner there. The steering wheel, as I mentioned, is the upgraded steering wheel with a flat bottom. It's a petrol automatic, this car. You can put it into manual mode with the shifter. You can also do it with the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, which I like. You can make the most of the power and sort of sound that this car comes with. Technology you get, it's a push button to start the vehicle, and the screen you get on this is actually quite an impressive size. You'll see it lights up here with a big screen. Heated seats controlled by here, but the screen itself, you get things like Apple CarPlay. If you don't want to use the Audi system that comes as standard, as I say, you plug in your phone with the USB cable there and it'll hook up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. other features you get on the standard system. So you get car controls. That is the exciting one, because that's what includes dynamic mode, which is obviously the sporty one. So what that does, it'll stiffen up the steering wheel, more throttle sensitivity, opens the exhaust up, and just allows a lot more sound to come through. Efficiency is obviously, if you're trying to save a bit of fuel, be a bit sensible. Auto, it decides on the style of your driving. Dynamic, I mentioned already. Individual, you can actually tweak each of the settings to how you want. So if I click the little dial across here, you've got engine, gearbox. You can put that in comfort, auto, or dynamic. The steering, as I mentioned, if you've got it in dynamic, it's going to be a lot stiffer. And the engine sound is obviously the exhaust note. And then just in general as a place to be, it does feel very, very premium. You've got touches of sort of chrome brushed finish trim line, the Quattro badging indicating that it is of course fitted with the very impressive Quattro all-wheel drive system. Under your leather armrest you've got another USB port as well as an AUX cable input, which actually isn't all too common on a car these days, AUX, but it does have it. Now the massage seat functionality, which is of course one of the most important features the car comes with. If I push the button on the side of the seat, you'll see the screen indicates that I've pressed it. You can then click through the options, so it's got 4 options of massage, one of them being off, which obviously isn't much of a function, but then there's wave, stretch and need. You can then change the intensity of the massage, and you can control that all by the controls on the side of your seats. So yeah, if you are using this car as a long distance cruiser, it works very well, and with the added comfort of the massage seats, it's a stunning place to be. Now, as you've heard guys, the exhaust note just sounds incredible. Now the reason that you get the sort of pops and bangs you might have heard, very subtle, not over the top, which I like, but that's in dynamic mode. So of course when the car's fully warmed up, you switch it to dynamic mode, the exhaust opens up and you get just a tremendous sound through the exhaust. But as I say, it's not in your face, it's not obnoxious, it's just the perfect tone, I would say, and when it's under load and you're driving, it sounds equally as impressive. So is the A4 Avance the perfect winter season car? I think with the added benefit of the Quattro system, which is arguably one of the best on the market. Not going to get into the battle of the brands, but it is known to be a very, very good one. It's then got the massage seats, super sport seats, and I think the style of it is very understated, but of course it's got the power performance to back it up. So if you would like to inquire on this car, guys, it is for sale. You can make it yours. Contact me or the team. We'll be happy to help you, show you the car, take you out on a drive, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.